Good afternoon, Rotarians, guests, and friends. Welcome to the September 9th Rotary Club of Cincinnati meeting. We also welcome those who are joining us via Zoom. We thank you for being with us today. We will begin with the national anthem, followed by the invocation and four-way test with Jane Burkett.
Please take a moment to remember all of the brave men and women who saved thousands of lives in the 9/11 tragedy, and those who perished on that day. It will live in infamy. Let us take a moment to reflect. And now, thank you for your generosity. You've been instrumental in our community investment into world-class sports teams. Welcome to Elizabeth Blackburn, adding a new dimension to our sports arena. The Reds, FC Cincinnati, and very close to my heart, the Cincinnati Bengals. You have helped shape our community into a national spotlight, and we thank you for that. Let us all continue to share our community inclusion in sports, in religion, in charitable giving, in our performing arts, in diversity, all with the common goal of our tri-state area being one of the most desirable places to live, work, and play. And thank you for giving all of our Rotarians a chance to shine, to all be Super Bowl champions in giving more than we could ever want to receive, and all of us living the Rotary motto every day, service above self. Amen. And now, for the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do, and I hope I won't mess it up, like last week. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Jane. You may be seated. Next, our prospective members, visitors, and guests will be introduced by Lisa Blaney-Gazaway. Following Lisa will be Michael Schatzman, who will make an announcement about a member engagement survey and event. And then we will have Gary Kendall, who will make an announcement regarding Rotary bowling. Lisa?
Hello. I would like to introduce some of our guests today. First, we have Rich Gomez. He's retired P&G, and thank you, Hux Miller. Then we have Rich Schwartz, also retired. Vince Hartman is his sponsor. Next, we have Jay Van Winkle. He's the owner of JVW Copywriters, and he's a guest of Dan Long. Thank you. We have a special guest here, Robert Tassoon. He's visiting Rotarian, and he's also with his dad, and he wants to give us a flag.
Maybe I should come down.
That's very nice.
Thank you.
That's nice. All right, next, and I think I'm sitting beside him, his name's Frank Scott, and he is the District 6670 Governor-elect. And then we have three special guests that are here with our speaker today. We have Chris Ryan, David Felt, and Matt Sickich with the Cincinnati Bengals. Woo! Thank all of you, and keep bringing your guests. We love it.
Well, hi. Good afternoon. So in the world of public speaking, they tell you you're supposed to open with a little attention getter, right? So get ready. Here comes mine. You ready? Hooday! Okay, now that I have your attention, I'm here to actually talk about our upcoming neighborhood coffee next Tuesday at 8 a.m. at the Panera Bread in Finneytown. That's at 8420 Winton Road. We'd like all of you to come out and join us. No set agenda, fun, fellowship. If you have a prospective member, bring them along. That's a great way to get to meet people in our club. So lastly, I'm going to close with some audience participation. I'm going to say something, you're going to repeat it back to me. Everybody got that? You okay on that? Okay, here we go. Ready? Who dey? Who dey think? Who dey think gonna drink that coffee? Everybody! Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, Elizabeth, I got him warmed up. You go get him, kid.
How do you follow that? Yes, people ask me, yes, this is my bowling shirt. It's Cincinnati Rotary right here. I'm here to invite you all to join us for bowling on Wednesday nights. We begin next week, the 15th, at Stone Lanes in Norwood at 7 o'clock, and then the league will start. You know, why do people bowl? Well, some people bowl for the trophies and awards that my lovely assistant is holding up. Some people bowl for the cool bowling shirts.
Yes.
And frankly, some people just bowl for the beer. So I'd like anybody that's bowling this year or has signed up to sub to stand up. So I think most people bowl for the fellowship. I know during COVID it's been hard to get to know people, especially for the new members. So come and join us on Wednesday night. If you want to know why we bowl, ask the bowlers. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements. And now we will continue with 3 additional announcements. The first one will be given by District Governor-elect Frank Scott. Following Frank will be Susan Snodgrass. She will be talking about our Top Golf event that will be coming up. So we will next hear from Frank Scott and then Susan Snodgrass. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Melinda. Well, thanks very much for having me here today. I really appreciate the invitation. As I've been introduced, Frank Scott, my home club is Dayton, Ohio, so thanks again for having me. My purpose today is to kind of acquaint you with the Rotary Day of Service coming up. It's 16 days away. It's on September 25th. It's a Saturday. And our objective, of course, is to build beds. This is the detail schedule of the event. You see September 25th, rather. Sleep in Heavenly Peace is an interesting organization. As I was reading about them, one of the statistics that really got my attention was that 2 to 3% of all children living in America do not have a bed. And that's a lot of children. It's kind of the thing that some of us in our families just take beds as being for granted, but there's a lot of children that do not have a nice, soft, warm bed to sleep in. So that's what Sleep in Heavenly Peace does. Our objective, as you see there, we're going to meet at 8 on Saturday the 25th. It'll be at Fairhaven Church, Springboro. It's a district event. Our district governor, Carol Hughes, will be there kind of leading the charge for us. And interestingly, the founder of Sleep in Heavenly Peace is coming to join us. He'll be there that Saturday morning. And the current chapter for Sleep in Heavenly Peace, the sponsor, is in Lebanon, Ohio. Our goal is 100 beds. And it's expected to take the morning, so we get started at 9. We finish about noontime. There'll be a little bit of food along the way in the morning, and then probably a small amount of food and drink at lunchtime as well. Mattresses and bedding sets are more than welcome. There's kind of an easy one. I didn't realize that I hadn't been shopping in a while myself, but you can actually get a bed set for twin bed that has everything in it, sheets, blanket, the whole thing, at some of the discount stores, Target, Walmart, things like that. So pretty easy to do that. Obviously, the companionship of fellow Rotarians. Always look forward to that. You know, in these COVID times, we're used to not seeing each other, so it's really wonderful to be here. And we'll probably do a little bit more work in highlighting sleep in heavenly peace as we move forward. This particular website is available to list yourself as a volunteer. And I know, you know, I was with a group of new Rotarians this morning, and I happened to mention that it is not unusual in our area that we kind of wait until the last minute to sign up. So I want to assure you that while it says 100, we have plenty of room for everybody. We don't have 100 yet signed up, so we'd be glad to have you there. It's an opportunity to really fulfill service above self. And if you're able to participate, we'd love to have you to participate and see how we go for 100 beds. Everything happens after that. Beds are delivered to needy children and things like that. So, again, yes? Well, I was asked that question before, and every picture I've seen has tools in it. So it would seem that it would be appropriate to bring some tools along, yeah? And I've seen some pictures, you know, we're doing it at Fairhaven Church, but from time to time you'll see it done in front of a Lowe's or a Home Depot or something. I'm amazed at the number of Sleep in Heavenly Peace chapters that are around the country as I was looking at their website. So it's a very important group of people that do important work, and we're glad in Rotary to be part of the group that's offering to help them with this 100-bed build. So thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate that.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. My name is Susan Snodgrass, and I'm excited to tell you about the upcoming Top Golf event on Friday, September 24th, from 6:30 to 8:30 at Top Golf, which is located up in Westchester. The cost to attend is $35, and that includes a round of golf, plus appetizers and soft drinks. Even though the event's being hosted by Women in Rotary, it's open to all club members, and we encourage you to bring your spouse or family member or a prospect, anybody you think might like to enjoy a round of golf. So I attended the event a couple of years ago when Women in Rotary hosted it and brought a prospect. And she just had such a great time. And in fact, just this past weekend, we were up there with my husband and daughter and son-in-law, and he got a chance to try out his new driver. So you are able to bring your own clubs with you, or they have clubs there as well. So we encourage you all to join us, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements. We have just a few additional announcements. We have a few birthdays this week. September 10th, Sue Scott. September 13th, Jim Hudson. Happy birthday. Next, we have a road show coming up. You know, at the 5th Thursday of the month, we usually meet at a different location. That has been changed because of the fact that there is a conference going on in the Cincinnati area downtown on the 4th week. So we're going to move our location. Our 5th Thursday road show will be moved to the fourth week. We will be meeting at Revel Urban Winery and OTR. So we will not be meeting at the Hilton in 2 weeks. Just make sure. We'll say it a few times so you can hear it, that we won't be meeting for lunch on the fourth Thursday. We will be meeting at OTR at Revel Urban Winery. We will have a happy hour time from 5:30 to 7:30, and Christy has the flyers for that. If you'd like to sign up, that would be great. They're handcrafted varieties of wines. It's a family-owned winery, and they have other locations in the U.S. Appetizers will be served. There will be flatbread, meat and cheese, and other delicacies with one drink ticket. The cost is $24 if you are not a prepaid member on the lunch plan. RSVPs are due by Monday, September 20th. Also, remember the power of one. Dan Long and his team do a great job with the power of one, and we played Terry Dean's video a few weeks ago, the power of one. So let's make use of that, and feel free to bring guests with you to that meeting. We will also have information about this and updates in the E-Raise. We also have Lisa Blaney Gazaway and Marita Wade will be sponsoring the Rotary Alzheimer's Walk. So you will be getting some information about that if you're interested. Lisa and Marita wanted to see how many people are interested so that they can put the team together. But Lisa, as excited as she is, she says she'll walk with 2, she'll walk with 3, or 23. So just keep that in mind. You'll be hearing more about the Alzheimer's Walk. And we thank Marita Wade, who is on Zoom. She's our greeter on Zoom each week. So Marita, we thank you for all that you do greeting our guests on Zoom, and also for your co-chairing the Alzheimer's Walk along with Lisa. Next week, our meeting will be Jennifer Loeb, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ronald McDonald House, and our hands-on service chairperson, Dr. Hux Miller and his lovely wife. They were the hosts at the Ronald McDonald House recently, and we had a hands-on service project there less than a month ago, where we had a chance to spend time with families of children who are ill. We served them, prepared the dinner, and served it, and we were there for about 4 hours. So thank you, Dr. Hux Miller and Ariel. Let's give them a round of applause. Also next week, our district governor, Carol Hughes, will be here to give us a district update. So we have 2 great programs, agenda items, and speakers for next week, so please plan to come. Next, we will have Split the Pot, and we will have our guest speaker, Elizabeth Blackburn, to pull the number of the ticket of the winner. 25% goes to the winner, and all Club 17 members can participate in the accumulating pot, and our guests can participate in the initial drawing. So, Elizabeth, get out your tickets, red and blue.
I'm going to mix it up. It's blue. I'm no Jane/Vanna, but doing my best. The last 4 numbers are 8359. Hey!
What's the accumulating? The winning ticket wins $52, and the accumulating pot is $578. And he's pulling for the Queen of Hearts. 4 diamonds. Maybe next time. Thank you so much. And thanks to all of you for participating in Split the Pot as well. Next, we will move on to our program for today. We are very excited to have Elizabeth Blackburn with us today, and Al Conscious, past President Al Conscious, will introduce our speaker. Al?
Thank you, President Melinda. Sorry you didn't win the pot, but that was a great Yogi Bear impression. Very pleased to welcome Elizabeth Blackburn to Rotary today. She is Bengals Director of Strategy and Engagement. She's responsible for strategic planning, engagement initiatives, and future growth opportunities. She recently spearheaded several high-profile initiatives, including the Bengals Ring of Honor and the introduction of new uniforms for the Bengals for the first time in 17 years. Elizabeth is a native of Cincinnati. She joined the Bengals in February of 2020 after working at private equity powerhouse KKR, Colbert Kravis, in New York City. And then joined the consulting firm Bain & Company in San Francisco. Elizabeth also spent 6 months working at the league office in New York City, where she focused on NFL, management council, and corporate strategy groups. You probably know the Brown history. She's fourth generation Bengals management. Katie and Troy, who I've had the pleasure of knowing for a long time, are her mom and dad. Mike Brown is her grandfather, and Paul Brown, for whom the stadium is named, of course, is the founder, and he brought the team to Cincinnati. So please welcome Elizabeth Blackburn.
All right, so while I was eating lunch, I feel like I had a whole lesson in public speaking, and I'm going to first steal Michael's tip with an attention grabber while I migrate over to the other stage. Christy, I'm going to throw you off already. Can we start with video 2, the Twitter video, Rule the Jungle?
They certainly have regenerated the enthusiasm and the interest of this town in football. This makes it going crazy.
Well, thank you all so much for having me out today. It is week 1 of the NFL regular season. One more round of applause. Who's fired up? I really appreciate you guys having me speak to you today. I am originally from Cincinnati, like Al said, but I just moved back a year ago, and that first year back in town was a COVID year. So I am kind of, in a way, I feel like I'm still really getting to know the city. A lot has changed since I left after high school and went to college and worked a couple of places. And I'm really thankful and fortunate to come and meet with all of you today. I'm learning a lot about Rotary as well as learning about Cincinnati. And it's amazing hearing just the different announcements. There are a lot of alignments between Rotary and the Bengals as I think about it. You know, you guys are founded on the pillars of community and bringing people together. And honestly, that's how I like to think of my job and role with the Bengals. So hopefully, I've got a couple of talking points to hit on. I've got videos that I can show you, but I was up speaking with your, I don't know if I can say, brother, sister, Rotary of Lebanon a couple months ago, and made it very informal, you know, Q&A. Please feel free to interrupt me. This is your time, and I want to, you know, make you guys feel like you got something out of it. So I will kind of lay out the couple of topics that I'm going to talk about but you can steer the direction however you guys would enjoy. So to frame, at least this will be from my perspective, that video says a lot about my first year with the team. When I joined last February, we changed our strategy around content, and as all of you probably are seeing and feeling in many different ways, companies like Netflix and Amazon are continuing to prove that content is king. And we wanted to lean into that, but I think with many of your announcements of community events, it's also a challenge, right? Content is keeping people on their couches and in front of their screens. And how do we live with that and use content to help further our goal of using our organizations and groups to continue to foster community? And I think 2021, coming out of COVID, there is no more important time that people feel both the need and excited about coming back together with people in person. So that's something that specifically has me excited about the 2021 NFL season and our ability to return to full stadiums, full capacities, and feel each other's energy and really foster that community that so many people missed last year. I can talk a lot about content, and I've got some more videos because over the last 12 months, we brought that in-house, and we have an extremely talented team of video producers and designers, and hopefully, some of you have seen those videos and graphics that we've been using to digitally engage with our fans and with the community over the last 12 to 16 months. Al mentioned the Ring of Honor and our new uniforms, two extremely exciting announcements that we've made, but the more I've thought about those two projects, if you will, the real work is in front of us. Sunday, we get to play our first regular season game in our new uniforms, so I'm extremely excited about that. We're wearing our all-white look, and a little background to the new uniforms. The design was inspired by our Color Rush jerseys. If you've seen kind of the white jersey that we rolled out in 2016, it was extremely popular with our fans. So we literally, the Color Rush jersey was the foundation for all of our uniforms. So as you kind of see like an all black look, we've got Joe Burrow on the left in the all white. That's what we'll be wearing on Sunday, and it's kind of a nod to our Color Rush jerseys that are no longer, because we think we've enhanced them with this new look. And with the Ring of Honor, that is ahead as well. Our Ring of Honor game is on prime time. It's a Thursday night game when we play the Jaguars September 30th, and we've got a halftime induction ceremony. I got to work with a local men's outerwear company called Pursuit. They have a shop in OTR, and my sister and I got to design the jackets that we'll be giving to Anthony Munoz, Ken Anderson, Ken Riley's family, and my family on behalf of Paul Brown at the halftime ceremony. And that was a really fun project because the jacket itself, that jacket was inspired by my great-grandpa, Paul, and his look. So the Jacksonville game is really going to be the pinnacle moment for the Ring of Honor, and I'm personally really excited to see where that goes in the future, because we want it to be a recurring event that helps strengthen both our relationships with the fans who have wanted this for so long, as well as our alumni players who will be inducting and celebrating the Ring of Honor. So, don't be shy. You can ask questions about the uniforms, the Ring of Honor. Our schedule release video was predicated on our Ring of Honor nominees Christy, can you cue up the schedule release video? Because that'll just be another showcase of our wonderful content team and get you guys excited to know about all of our games coming up this year. Thank you, guys. With the video, with our new uniforms, which have Paul Brown's signature on the inside back neck of all the jerseys, both retail and the ones that our players wear on game day, we're really trying to bring our past with us and into the future, this next new exciting chapter of Bengals history, led by Joe Burrow and a host of core, young, very exciting players. And it's part of why I love, our uniforms, as well as that schedule release video. It's showing highlights almost exclusively of our great players from the 80s when we were in playoff runs and went to 2 Super Bowls, but has a little bit of an edge to it, playing off of the technology trend with NFTs. I don't know if any of you are familiar with NBA Top Shot, but that's sort of that blend of past, present, and future that hopefully you're seeing in our content, as well as our game day traditions. The one other big topic that I could probably talk for half an hour about is game day. And before I pivot to talking about game day, talking about our home opener this Sunday, any questions on, yes?
What is the National Football League doing about COVID? Are all the players still sort of in isolation?
Great question. So the NFL has come to a bargained agreement with the NFL Players Association to articulate a set of rules. And there are basically, let me take one step back just to level set kind of the NFL's approach for this year. I'll reference first the NFL's approach last year was very focused on testing. All of our players, all of our staff that was around the players, myself included, tested daily last year. And this year, the NFL shifted the paradigm away from testing and more towards vaccinations. So with this current set of rules that governs the players and anybody who is in contact with the players, there are kind of two sets of rules. There's a set of rules for the vaccinated players and staff, and we are right around 93% of our player population is vaccinated, which is about a little above average, above NFL average. And our staff is at 99.9%. If you are and if any, I mean, just as a quick vaccination aside, we have a great partnership with TriHealth. TriHealth used our facility, our stadium, as a vaccination site, I think back in May. And we have great relationships with them. And if anyone is, has questions just from how another business or company went through vaccinations, testing, anything like that, I think, any of our staff at the Bengals, we went through it in a very extreme way last year and in a very regimented way this year because of the importance of keeping, all of our staff and players healthy and COVID-free, because the NFL is still implementing a rule that if anyone is tested positive, that's when the quarantine comes into effect. The unvaccinated players are under pretty much the same protocols as last year. They are testing daily, but that's sort of their approach this year. And it's remarkable if you look back to the 2020 season, the NFL was really the only major sports league last year that had a full and complete season that was played on time. And it's a real testament to the diligence of our staff and of our players. We were able to host 9. We missed our home opener, unfortunately, but we hosted, 7. No preseason. But we hosted 7 games safely with limited capacity last year. And fortunately, NFL teams are now just have to follow local guidelines. And we're fortunate here in Cincinnati that we'll be able to host a full capacity crowd on Sunday. And it's going to be the first time Joe Burrow has played in front of a full stadium in Cincinnati. And that is personally driving me and our staff to make sure that we give him and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and so many of our rookies and new free agents who've never played in Paul Brown Stadium before a really great atmosphere this Sunday. Michael, I'm going to steal your story from your halftime experience, not to cite your touchdown dive, but just to comment on, Michael was sharing a story with me from a Monday night game a couple of years ago where he got to go down to the field, and the camera panned to him, and he was wearing the Devin Still jersey when we were doing the kind of promotion, if you will, to raise money for his daughter Leah, who was battling cancer at the time. Luckily, she is cancer-free, which is amazing right now. And when the camera panned to Michael in his Devin Stills jersey, the crowd erupted in a cheer. And he was saying, even at halftime, as a fan on the field, he could feel the energy that a full stadium cheering for him, it affects you. And back in January, after the season, Joe Mixon popped into my office before he took off back to California for the off season. And he shared a really similar anecdote. I was asking him how he's feeling and how his foot is, and he's doing well, and he had a great off season and looks great. He's fully ready to go for Sunday. but we were talking about the game day atmosphere and the fans, or the lack thereof, last year. With 6 foot distancing, we were about at 10,000, which sounds like a lot of people, but in a building that can hold over 60,000, it's amazing the difference that makes. And Joe Mixon, who is like the most energetic person, like Joe Mixon and I in a room just like bounce off of each other and with energy. He was talking about he missed the fans. And this off season, I personally, and with our amazing team of content and ticket sales, we have been on basically a 9-month quest to enhance the game day experience and do everything we possibly can to ensure that in 2021, thankfully, we are back to full capacity crowds. We're doing everything we can to make the experience at Paul Brown Stadium absolutely electric for the players, so that Joe and all the other guys can feed off of that energy. There's nothing like it when 60,000 people are all shouting "Hooday" in unison. So we've done a number of things. I'm looking at my time just to make sure.
You have time. I have a question from someone on Zoom. You're fine.
Oh,
Just when
okay.
you take a break, I have a question for you from one of our Zoom attendees.
I was going to pivot into a bunch of specific game day elements, so why don't we pause? I'd love to take their question.
Okay, this question is from Jim Neidhart. His question is there a time projection around the NFL for the existence or viability of tackle football in the USA? He wouldn't be surprised if there would be no tackle football in the next 20 or so years. Has there been talk about that?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question. but I appreciate the stumper from Zoom. I'm not sure this will answer the question or not, but I'll speak to my time up at the league office. So that was the fall of 2017 and the winter of 2018. When I was working in the league's corporate strategy group, it's kind of almost like an internal consultant to the league. And you're working on cross-functional projects. I worked on a little bit with sports betting. I worked on how to target youth through virtual gaming. And one of the projects that I worked on was, health and safety and kind of the pipeline of youth football players in the U.S. And so obviously it's something that fans are focused on, and I think there remain a lot of questions, but it's also something at the league level that they are continuing to research and understand. The league is very focused on making a game that is sustainable and safe and exciting for the players and for the fans in the stands. And I think it will continue to evolve. It continues to evolve even specifically in the NFL, as there's an annual process to change the rules of the game. And one of their pillars is equity, and one of their other pillars is player safety. And tackle football is a violent game. Anyone who is playing that knows it comes with risk. There's risk in everything we do every day. But the league is absolutely trying to make it a sustainable game that everyone can play, and the league is also having to push for girls to play. And so it's such a special game that is the ultimate team sport. And it personally fires me up to find ways to make football accessible and long-lasting, because there's just no other sport where every single person on the field and on the bench has a specific role, and you can't do it without them. And in an age with proliferating social media that gives kids a digital wall to hide behind and a million excuses to, not interact with people in person. I think sports, youth sports, and football specifically, is a really powerful antidote to continue a healthy development of kids to be successful leaders as they grow up. I hope that helped answered the Zoom question. I don't know, we probably have like 10 minutes, and why don't I pause and just make sure if there are questions in the crowd.
Well, first of all, congratulations on the Ring of Honor. I think that's a great move. My question has to do with how that's set up. Are there a certain number of players each year that are going to be nominated or inducted? And how does the process work? Who nominates them? Who picks them? Makes the ultimate decision and how all that works?
Yep. I will give you my best Ring of Honor overview as I can, knowing that the future years is not fully decided. We want to get through the Jacksonville game and get some direct feedback from just fans at the Jacksonville game specifically talking about the Ring of Honor before we formally decide basically whether we're going to do 1 or 2 inductees next year. But in terms of the process, this is how it worked this year, and we will largely replicate it going forward. So first, we automatically inducted the 2 individuals from the Bengals organization, I wish it were way more, that are already inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that is Paul Brown and Anthony Munoz. So they were automatic inductees, and that is a rule that will carry forward, hopefully as we get more players and individuals nominated into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they will automatically enter our Ring of Honor. But as many of you probably know or feel, our Ring of Honor is one reason that we founded it was to help celebrate the players and individuals who had remarkable careers and are not honored at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So to identify who gets inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor, we created a ballot of 17 individuals, and that's what I was mentioning earlier with the schedule release. And we kind of did pick 17. It was a perfect cutoff as we looked at some of the objective metrics and data points with some of our legends, and it was nice that we could highlight them in the schedule release video. So we had a ballot of 17, and that, to get on the ballot, it was a combination of criteria. Back in 2017, we did a very large fan and media vote to establish the Bengals' first 50 in honor of our 50th anniversary at the time. We used those votes as well as individual achievement awards like Pro Bowls, First Team All-League, and then we had an internal steering committee that reviewed the different metrics and signed off on the ballot. The thought with the ballot was there is unanimous support by the organization for if any of those members are voted in, they are worthy of being in the Ring of Honor. So then we took that ballot of 17 and we sent it out to our season ticket members, and the season ticket members got to vote, and each season ticket member, their vote counted for the number of years they were a season ticket member, to give a special nod and thank you to our most tenured season ticket members. And that vote came back this summer very clearly in favor of Ken Anderson and Ken Riley. And it was the top 2 got in. Yeah?
Hi, Elizabeth. I have a question about the use of the stadium. I'm fortunate that my dad has been a season ticket holder from the very first game, and have been a lot of wonderful times to be at the stadium. But the stadium sits empty so much. And like, my husband is a huge Green Bay Packer fan, so the only time he won't root for the Bengals all season is on October 10th, but I will. And but they have all these events and restaurants that people come to all the time. I mean, any time of the year, and it just makes the stadium more available to everybody, especially those that can't afford or aren't able to come to the game. Are there any plans to do anything like that with the Bengals Stadium? Because it's such a beautiful stadium.
It is a beautiful stadium, and thanks for your question. We are, actually one project that I am working on now, and it's a very long-term project, so I'm sort of selective with how much I say about it, but we're working with an architectural firm, the original architectural firm with the stadium right now in a 6 to 12 month assessment project to review the stadium and come up with some recommendations to future-proof it, if you will, going into, this year we're into now Paul Brown Stadium's third decade, and I think ideas like that are very much on the table with this review because, it's a beautiful stadium in prime real estate downtown, and since it was built in the last 20 years, the banks, the riverfront have really developed, and that was an original goal in putting building the stadium where it is today, and it's really exciting to see that vision come to life over the last 20 years, and we hope that our stadium will continue to be an anchoring point to continue the growth and use of downtown. Yeah.
Elizabeth, I just want to thank you and the staff for all the enthusiasm that you've generated with the Bengals, especially with the season ticket holders. I would like for you to comment in the few minutes you got left about what changed with the seat on Sunday down there, whether it being done. Last thing to comment, any chance that Jesse Bates gets signed by Sunday?
I don't know on that one. But we really, love and respect Jesse Bates, and we have been trying. With the question about game day, it's a great, maybe even final question if this is the last one. Couple of key things, all rooted in tradition and energy. We want Paul Brown Stadium to be the best home field advantage, period. We've done a couple of things to specifically get fans engaging and loud and feeling a part of the game day atmosphere. One, we revamped our team intro. So this is something both for the fans and for the players. We have 12-foot tall, old jungle pillars with perched Bengal tigers on top of them, blowing cold cryo smoke on the team as they run out. That's very cool. For anyone who is coming to the game, and we do still have some tickets available if you are interested, get there at like 12:45, 12:50, because that's awesome. The players are super hyped about that. And then right before kickoff, we've introduced a new tradition called the Ruler of the Jungle. Hey, Chris, I don't know if Christy, can you scroll down on this page? There's when we did our uniform reveal, we built a custom concrete throne, and we thought that was pretty cool. So we are building more traditions onto that concrete throne. I think it's even a little further down. No, it's okay. And so the concept of the Ruler of the Jungle is kind of like Seattle's 12th Man or Minnesota's Skull Chant. And because we're playing them, I am especially optimistic and fired up about our own chant so that we can outdo the Vikings fans. We're having a prestigious, Bengals legend. This weekend it will be Bob Johnson, only retired number in Bengals history, number 54. Give some love for the trench guys as well. So Bob, I was on a call with him this morning. He's super fired up. Bob's coming down, and right before kickoff, he goes up. We built this really beautiful jungle-ified stage. Bob gets a custom jungle staff. He is our ruler of the jungle that day, and he leads us in the Hoo Day chant, which I thought, Michael, you were going to go full Hoo Day, but I respect the coffee twist. And that is then going to go right into the famous Guns N' Roses Welcome to the Jungle intro that will continue to play. So that's a big one. We've added fireworks. We've had some fireworks in the past, but now every time we score, and hopefully on Sunday when we win, we will fire off more fireworks than you've seen in the past. And we've also changed up our music, which is a common fan feedback point. We got some positive feedback from our preseason game against the Dolphins 2 weekends ago, so we're hoping to build on that as well.
Well, thank you very much. Let's give Elizabeth
Thank you
a
guys
round
so
of
much for
applause.
having me. Hoo Day!
Hoo Day! Thank you, Elizabeth. And our Zoom caller said it was an athletic director who made the 25-year comment that he asked about, so he didn't intend to try to stump you there. He said thank you very much for your response. As you said, our goals are very similar, the Rotary's goals and the Bengals' goals. We have been in the process of our efforts to eradicate polio since 1980, and based on your conversation and as a result of your conversation today, we will give a donation to the eradication of polio to Rotary International in your honor. And with that, I'd like to present you with a pin for our year's motto for the Rotary Club, Rotary International and our club, serve to change lives. Again, next week's meeting, we will have Jennifer Loeb, who is the Ronald McDonald House, the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the Ronald McDonald House. And we will have the official visit of our District Governor, Carol Hughes. Also, we have some meetings this afternoon. Board members, please meet in the rear upstairs, right on the one level up, right after this meeting for a photo with Ed Atchison. So immediately following, please do it expeditiously because we do have a board meeting and we have a lot to cover. So we will meet over right at the one step up. After that, the Board of Directors will meet in the Rookwood Room on the 4th floor. Young professionals will be meeting today in salons F and G on the 4th floor, and the new member project committee will be meeting in the boardroom 3 on the mezzanine level. So thank you so much for attending again today, and thank you, Elizabeth, for that great presentation of exciting new chapter in Bengals history. So make it a great week, and we look forward to seeing you back next week at our Rotary meeting. Meeting adjourned.